The universal quest. Happiness is a joy that most often comes as a result of positive activity. Like wealth, it too has a wide variety of meanings and interpretations. Happiness is both the joy of discovery and the joy of knowing. It is a result of an awareness of the full range of life, the color, the sound, the harmony. And it is the joy that comes from designing a life and practicing the fine art of living well. Happiness is being able to explore the offerings of life by perception, response, and enjoyment. Happiness is both receiving and sharing, reaping and bestowing. It is being able to feast on harmony as well as food, on ideas as well as bread. Happiness is the deliberate act to create a wider world of experience and awareness. Happiness is having a handle on disappointment. It is being in control of both emotion and circumstance. Happiness is freedom from the negative children of fear, such as worry, low self-esteem, envy, greed, anger, resentment, and so on. Happiness is an awareness and a grasp of the positive power of life and loving values. It is an order of thought, activity, and lifestyle. Happiness is values in balance. It is contact with people of substance. Happiness is contentment with the tasks of your life. It is thought inspired by, organized with, and rooted in your personal philosophy. Happiness is a life well lived, in which a wide variety of experiences are deliberately captured to become an invaluable form of currency for you to spend and invest in your own better future.
You sell your dream. And what you do when you do that is you sold your children's future. You've sold your own future. You've sold your legacy. You've relented and you've given in. I want you to think about that. Because when you go, nah, it wasn't for me. No. That's the easy way out. Nah, I decided I'm not going to pay that big a price for my grandkids' future. I've decided I don't want to really retire my parents. I've decided I don't really want to be somebody. I've decided I don't want to accumulate enough money to fund that church. I've decided all this stuff I say about who I want to be and what I want and all that other stuff, I kind of want it, contingent on it's not too hard. And that's what most entrepreneurs do. In fact, in a year, of the 500 people here, there will be several hundred of you who have already sold your family down the river. And I say that to you so that you can begin to negotiate the price in advance. I love you. I want you to win. I want to see you prosper. I want to see magic happen for you. And if you don't, while you're at this meeting, all the notes, all the logistics, make a decision that no matter how big the price gets, as long as it's legal, ethical, and moral, I'm going to pay it. I've negotiated in advance. My will to win, my family's dreams, my future is not for sale. And guess what? We're going to enter a market, especially in the real estate space, the next 5 years. We're going to weed out all the people who haven't made that decision. We're going to weed them all out. And those of us that stay, and by the way, I've made the vast majority of my wealth in real estate, by the way. When you get any wealthy speaker that comes speak to you, they either made their money in tech or real estate, eventually. Now, I cash flowed in the financial services business, but I invested in real estate. But I made a decision a long time ago. My children, their dreams are not for sale. You can't beat this dude. I'm not the smartest, right? I'm not the brightest. I may not have all the best information, but I'm going to outwork you, and you would have to kill me to get me to stop chasing my dream. Have you made that decision? By the way, I'm looking at some of your faces. Have you made that decision?
I was reading a book on forgiveness, and they had a line in there that says, forgive and grow. I had to let that luggage go. You see, your mind is you know, when you go into a service station to get gas, you don't go in there and just start pumping. When you push the lever up, it clears the previous bill. By the same token, if you want to begin to move, you've got to clear your mind of all the unnecessary luggage and baggage that's weighing us down. I couldn't move. I couldn't think about what am I going to do to get out of this situation, because I was so concerned about what happened and what he did to me and how bad it was. I was so stuck in that I couldn't even focus on what I should have done. Feeling sorry for myself and angry, and none of that was taking me anywhere. So pretty soon I learned through effort, made a conscious, deliberate, determined effort. I had to let it go. I had to forgive it, let it go, and begin to focus on developing myself. And I say to you, you're going to have people to do things to you. Things are going to happen to you. And the most important thing to do is to harness your will and let it go and move so you can grow, so you can get on with your life. It doesn't matter about what happens to you. What matters is, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do now, Les? Huh? How long are you going to tell everybody at the bus stop and anybody who would stand and listen to you? How long are you going to repeat the same thing over and over and over and over and over again? How many times do we have to hear that? Don't go around telling people what your story is. Everybody has a story. 80% don't care and 20% glad it's you. They say, I'm glad that didn't happen to me. Sometimes you think you got some problem. You hear somebody else's problem, and if their problem is real bad, it make you feel good. Am I right? All right. So I had to let that go. All of us got stories to tell.
So we have to be good at not only controlling the internal world, but our external world. And that's shaped by what we do. And what people do is based on their emotions and also their role models. So I thank you, Mark, and I thank all of you that are role models for people, where you show people that success does not mean taking, that success can mean truly growing and giving. That money, resources, and opportunity are things to be shared. They're things that are tools for a quality of life that you're able to enhance for people and for yourself and your family. Pretty beautiful thing. My father that day decided what to do was, if I failed and I've been worthless to my family, I must leave. And he did. And to me, it was the worst day of my life. I'll never forget it. I loved him more than anything. I had 4 fathers. He's the one I finally got attached to. It's like, Mom, I'm confused. But then finally, years later, I got the benefit of it, because out of all those experiences and all that pain, that day I made 3 different decisions. First decision is I just decided to focus on something different than him, and that's the power we have. We get to decide what to focus on, and my decision number 1 is I want to focus on the fact there's food. What a concept. Pretty cool. But the most powerful thing to change my life was meaning. I said, what does this mean? Because my father had always said, Mother had always said, nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares. Don't care about anybody, they don't care about you. And that day I had physical evidence. Those you bringing food, I want you to know that's not just food. That's called love for someone. That's called hope for someone. That's called surprise for someone. And that day for me, I went, strangers care. And so I started caring about strangers. And I decided someday I'm gonna do the same. So when I was 17, I fed 2 families. It was like one of the most incredible experiences of my life. I went to the grocery store, I was all excited. Saved up all my money, went to the manager and said, I want to feed 2 families, this is what I'm doing, it's not for me, give me a discount. And he gave me 10%, and I thought, cheap bastard. But I went out and I delivered this food, and ironically, I called this church and I asked in the barrio, a particular place, where are some families in need? They gave me 2 names. I put on t-shirt and jeans. I wasn't going to be acknowledged. I also didn't want somebody to be insulted because I saw what happened to my father. And I wrote a note, said, this is a note from a friend. And I said, I just want you to know, we know you're having difficult times. Everyone does at times. And I want you to have a beautiful Thanksgiving, and please feel loved, take care of your family. And someday, if you can, do well enough to do this for one other family and pass it on. But love a friend. And I had it written in Spanish as well. And I'll never forget, first place I pull up, this rotten old van, stick shift van, that I borrowed from a buddy of mine, with all these bags of food. And I went into this place and got out, pulled up this little tiny building, really tiny, knocked on the door. And when I knocked on the door, this little woman opened the door. It's probably half my size. She's not hard, I'm 6'7", so she's like 5'2". And she looked up at me like this, and she saw the groceries and she screamed. She started grabbing my head and pulling it down and kissing me. I was like, no, 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 delivery boy, delivery boy. And she goes, no, God gift, God gift, God gift.
This is too big for me. I cannot do this by myself. I'm going to forgive myself for not being Superman and not being bionic and not having the answer to everything. And I'm going to forgive myself because I can't answer all questions and I can't fix all problems and I can't be there for everybody. I'm tired. I'm going to let myself be a person, and I'm going to let somebody see my person. Ooh, that's so scary. stuff right there. Let somebody, because if the wrong person see your personhood, you know. So fear stops us from letting anybody come close. And let's face it, most of the people who want to come close and serve in ministry, they come for the wrong reason anyway. Most of them come for the wrong, they don't mean, they're not diabolical. They're not diabolical people. They're good people. But I teach people this, and this might be worth noting. The church is both an organization, organized, structured. Apostles, prophets, pastors, teachers, evangelists, deacons. It's an organization. It has to have structure. If it doesn't have structure, it doesn't run right. This meeting is effective because they have structure and order and plans. They don't just come in here and see what the Lord's going to do. Yeah. It's more than anointing. It's planning and structure and strategy. Okay? So the church is an organization, but it is also an organism. It is an organism. It is a living thing. It is a divine thing. It has the DNA of God, and it is the birth of its daddy. It's got its daddy's blood in it. It's supernatural. It's divine. It's powerful. And if your church is not both, you'll never be effective. If you have God's DNA, but you have no organizational skills, it will kill your church. If you have lots of organization and structure, and yet you have no divine DNA in you, it will still kill your church. You will be ordered and strategic and organized and be all together and have no life, no zoe, no power, no unction, no semen, none of God's sperm exists in your ministry. It's just all straight and neat. It's like a nursery without a baby. I've seen churches all over the place, organized as they could be, and just they're dead as 4 o'clock in the morning. On the other hand, I've seen churches that were on fire for God, but no structure and no order, and neither one of them can grow, because if you have one without the other, you can never get it done.